out of ego, out of love, out of establishment, respect, whatever it is, you must have killed someone in your past life. And in this present life, this is obvious, you are going to lose someone very close to you. So that punishment is not for you, that punishment for your parents. Okay, because of you this did, my another kid is facing this problem. The Aradhya of Rahu is Ma Saraswati. So on whose aspect this certain sin is being done, he also worships a Devi Shakti. So when this is done, this kind of things done, so Rahu is not going to spare you in his time. So Rahu will give all the negativity you can have in one particular life. Because the mother's womb, the mother's lap is considered to be the most safest place in this earth. And this what actually rewrites your destiny. Namaskar, welcome to Astrology Vedic Academy. Today's topic, the Kriyamanya Karma. This is going to be the third part of the pending karma series. So in this video, we must understand the parts of Kriyamanya Karma. What is Kriyamanya Karma? In the last video of this series, we had a discussion about the Sanchit Karma. Before that, we discussed about the pending karma, a glimpse of the pending karma. So as we know, karma has a three type. Sanchit karma, which is stored one, the stored paap, the stored punya. Then the pending karma. Those karma we should have done in our past life, but we couldn't due to some reason, maybe intentionally, maybe due to some reason. But we have to do all this karma done in this particular year. So we call this topic a pending karma. Then comes the Kriyamanya Karma, which is the doable work, which is given our attention, which is given our consciousness. So what kind of Kriyamanya Karma we do, that defines our destiny at some point. As I always say, destiny cannot be changed but can be modified. So what can we do to modify our destiny? That is Kriyamanya Karma. So what is karma? How do we measure karma? What is the quality of karma? So that's when the two name always comes, the sin, the good deeds, the paap, the punya. So what is paap? We know. What is punya? We know. But when you go deeper inside to understand the concept of pending karma, Kriyamanya karma, Sanchit karma, we have to understand the sin, the paap in a deeper way. In astrology, these topics are studied in a significant way. Reason being, there are certain combinations, there are certain charts you will see in your career if you go through, where remedies hardly work, where you will see that this particular native is given with so much sorrow, even when he or she is doing very good in this life, but they are having problems. On the other hand, you would see they are doing so much negative things in this particular birth and they are getting all the good blessings from the Almighty. And now you get confused. Why it's happening? That's when the concept of Sanchit karma, Kriyamanya karma and pending karma comes. So you must think, okay, in this particular birth, whatever we do, we must get results out of this. Because you must think that, okay, this is an escape way for the astrologers. You will just say, okay, this is a point of your past life things, that's why you are getting the sufferings in this birth, because you have no validation. For example, in this birth, you lost your marriage, you lost your career, or you lost your siblings, your parents, whatever, and you go to an astrologer or Panditji, he studies your chart, he says you, okay, in your chart there is nothing, but in the past life you did something, because of that you are having this particular problem in this life. Now you must be confused, okay, the Panditji maybe doesn't know to read the chart, because that is why he is saying about the past life, because now I cannot validate the past life thing. What I have done in past life, neither you can validate nor I can validate. Then why the hell I am getting the results out of it? Obviously, that's a genuine question. So today, we must study that part of Jyotish what says or gives you a validation of your past life karma. We must see some charts, practical charts, and we'll see the combinations, and we'll explain you that in this chart, due to this planet, I can study this particular native has done this particular thing in his or her past life, and that's why he or she is having this problem in this present life, and this would have a proof. What kind of proof? In your particular this life, you will be given this problem only for that problem you did in the past life. That would be matching. Maybe I will predict you this is going to happen with you in this particular time zone because you have done something in your past life like that, and that's given in a chart with extreme accuracy. And when I talk about this, there is something called the birthmark. We are always fascinated about it. So birthmark is majorly associated how you died in your past life. Certain things we must study, and based on that I will tell you what exactly you did in your last life and what exactly you are getting the result out of it. Before that, you have to understand the category of Paap, the category of sin one can do. That our scriptures has divided sin in 3 different scale, and that is why for one particular sin, one particular punishment is also given, and this varies man to man, this varies class to class. For example, if a thief does a negative wrong things or steals something from someone's house, what punishment he will get? If a Brahmin does the same, won't get the same punishment, he will get more punishment than that thief. Why? Because when you are a Brahmin, you associated with the very pious things, you are associated with religious things. How can you do this fraud kind of thing? This is not expected from you. So your punishment shall be higher than that thief who was born with that nature to this earth. That's how the scale defines, that's how the scale varies, and that is why the same Mars, the same negative combination, the 5th house, gives different results to different persons. For example, you see a chart where there is Mars in the 7th house and in the sign of 8 maybe. So this is obviously one of the most poisonous Mangalik. You will see in few cases this combination is giving only normal disputes in the marital life. For someone it is giving a divorce, for someone this is giving a life-threatening disease to the partner, and for someone it actually kills the partner. Now you are confused that okay, the same combination is working to 4 different categories in 4 different ways. The degree of that punishment, the degree of that event is getting higher. Why? Because of the past life deeds. That's what I am here to explain. To understand this, you have to understand what negative things you have done. And when we talk about the punya, the paap, there is another angle comes into the game. What is that angle? It's always not restricted to yourself. If your parents do something wrong, you have to suffer out of it. Now the question arises again, why I shall suffer of my parents negative things? Because you enjoy the fruit of their good things as well. Like all of we live in our parents' home, they have done something good for us. So when you have the right to enjoy their good deeds, it's your responsibility to take the punishment of their negative deeds also. So in some charts we see, okay, this soul is very pure, this soul has nothing to do with this entire negative things, but when you study their parents chart, you will see, okay, something very wrong has been done by their parents, and that is the reason this particular native is facing so many negative things. This is what exactly happening. This happens. That's what makes astrology versatile. So, classification of sin, Paap. So, majorly there are three kind of Paap explained in our Shastra. So, one is the normal category, Paap, another is Mahapaap, another is Ati Mahapaap. So, in Shiv Purana, Ravana Samhita, in some extensive version of Ravana Samhita, this is mentioned, not in the original one, or in many scriptures, there is a discussion between, even in some versions of Ramayana also, this has been mentioned, some versions I am saying, there is a discussion between Ma Parvati and Shiva, where Mahadev is explaining Ma Parvati the degrees of Paap. Paap, Ati Mahapaap, Mahapaap. What are these? So, Paap is the sin. What do we do? Saying a lie, doing fraud, cheating, thinking someone's harm, and all these things, which are the very basic things. It comes under the category of sin. Then comes Mahapaap, to kill someone, to kidnap someone, to do something for that a huge number of people will be affected. This comes under the Mahapaap, or to kill a Brahmin, or to kill a very learned person, to kill the Gohata, what do you say? All these things comes under the Mahapaap. Because if someone is so much beneficial to us, and you are killing that, and you are betraying with that particular one, may it be a animal, may it be a human, this particular segment comes under the Mahapaap. Then comes the Ati Mahapaap. This conversation came out when Mata Parvati asked Shiva that you are Bholenath, you are the representation of forgiveness to everyone. You forgive everybody, whoever calls you, whoever prays to you. Even you give a place to the Chandal to your side, you give places to the Pishach Yoni to your side, everyone who worships you, you help them out. Then why you are not forgiving Ravana, who is one of your greatest bhakt? In fact, Ravana is the one who did the Shiv Tandav Stotram, who composed that, taking the Kailash Parvati in his hands. So he is one of the greatest devotee ever came into this world after Nandi. And some scriptures is said that Ravana is even more greater devotee than the Nandi himself. Then why you are not forgiving him? What's happening? So even in some scriptures, Ravana is explaining himself that I am the greatest devotee of Shiva by saying, Mutsa Jodha, Mutsa Pandit, Sansar mein na koi दूजा, अपने शीश को काट काट शंकर को है मैंने पूजा. So he was actually cutting one of his head and giving to this Havan Kund when he was doing the Ashtarudra Havan. So Ekadash Rudra Havan, one by one he concurred all the Rudra avatar of Mahadeva, and that's how he became the Ajaya, unbeatable. He concurred 3 of the lokas. But Shiva was not forgiving him. Not because he kidnapped Sita, but because of something else. So when Shiva explaining to Ma Parvati that these are the stuffs, this is called Paap, this is called Mahapaap, and this is called Ati Mahapaap. Ma Parvati questions back, okay, then kidnapping comes under the Mahapaap, and you said Mahapaap can be forgiven. Ravana only kidnapped Sita, then it's falling under the Mahapaap, then why are you not forgiving him? Then Shiva says, if he kidnapped Ma Sita in his original form as being Ravan, I still could have forgiven him. But what he did, he took a appearance of a monk, of a sannyasi, of a sadhu, and then he kidnapped Sita. Because of this event, for a long time, people won't trust this particular appearance. People will question on this community of Dharam. People will question on the honesty of all the monks, of all the sages. So because of this mistake, he is actually demolishing the trust on a certain big community where people go for the righteousness, where people go for the dharma, where people go for to learn dharma. He has done a certain big, he has put a certain big kalank on them. Because of this particular deed, an entire community got demolished. That's why it falls under Mahapaap, and he cannot be forgiven. He must pay for this. So whatever act you are doing, if that's a paap, if that's a sin, and this particular sin is actually questioning a huge community because of your fault, all the innocent person of that community is being questioned, then you fall under the Mahapapi, and it has no forgiveness. In Jyotish and in Kali Yuga, there is one particular segment where many of us do this particular paap in disguise without knowing, and we think, okay, it's just a casual note. And this what actually rewrites your destiny in terms of Kriyamanya Karam. These changes your blessings into curse. What is that? Abortion. So, when you can figure out abortion in one's chart, 8th house Ketu, 5th house Ketu, 5th house Mars, 5th house Rahu, or anything, a Saturn Mercury combination, exchange of nakshatra of the above terms, you will see there's a combination of the abortions being done. Okay, I'll make a dedicated video upon it, how to figure out miscarriages and abortions. But today's topic is not that. You just understand, if you do abortion, you are falling under the Mahapaap segment. Why? Because the mother's womb, the mother's lap is considered to be the most safest place in this earth. It's none how less than heaven. And being a mother, you are taking the life of your own child. You are even worse than the Dains, than the Pishach. In fact, a Pishach takes care of their own child if he or she can recognize. You are even worse than them. And not only you are doing it, you are actually blaming all the mothers out there, entire community out there, because of this particular thing, and hence it falls under the Mahapaap segment, and it has no forgiveness, at least written in our scriptures. So what is the results of it? What kind of fruit you may receive out of it? In some cases, death after a certain time. You don't get water when you die. When you will, first of all, you have to understand when you will get the result of this particular thing. When your Rahu Mahadasha will begin, when Rahu will come into the play, because in the Rahu Mahadasha, in the aspect of Rahu, and the timing of Rahu, you do certain kind of things. As you know, the Aradhya of Rahu is Ma Saraswati. So, on whose aspect this certain sin is being done, he also worships a Devi Shakti. So, when this is done, this abortion kind of things done, so Rahu is not going to spare you in his time. So Rahu will give all the negativity you can have in one particular life out of this. It's the biggest sin one can do in a lifetime. There is no more sin out of that, bigger to that. So what problems you face? Heavy financial downfall, some untreatable disease to the family, in many cases separation, extreme depression and frustration, in some cases defamation, in few segments lots of debts. That depends in segment, many other segments. Now if it is done by your parents, if your parents has done this kind of things, you have to face severe problems in terms of your marital life. Because, and how to figure out that if your parentals, someone from your parents has done this kind of things, look into your moon. If your moon is placed in the 12th house, if your moon is somehow connected with the 6th house, if your moon is somehow connected with the sign of Scorpio, the sign of Cancer, or somehow approaching towards Mars, Rahu, so there's a high chance that something has done to your parental life in terms of abortion. And if it is done, you have to confirm. If it is done, then take it as written. You're going to face severe problems in terms of emotions, in terms of marital life, in terms of conjugal life. This will be done. And you have no remedies to get out of it. It will disturb you in every sense. You will lose your most favorite person from your life. This could be anyone. And after that, life will change forever. All the emotion will change forever if that is done. So you must have a question that, okay, why I am facing this if my parent has done, as I said earlier. So that punishment is not for you, that punishment for your parents. Okay, because of you this did, my another kid is facing this problem. There's a punishment to your parents. Now you must again be in a consideration like, okay, my parents are getting the punishment, but along with that I am also getting the punishment. Now, how do you justify this? Looking into your chart, you also have done something very wrong in your past life that you are facing these kind of things. If I go a bit more deep to the Jyotish, I'm just giving an example, and a YouTube video to explain the entire thing is very tough. If the 6th house, Mangal, 7th house and the 5th house gets accumulated. So what I have taken, 5th house, 6th house, Mars getting accumulated and the 7th house, sorry. Then you must have done very wrong in your past life, and that is the reason you are going to lose someone in this present life. Majorly, this combination is associated with killing someone in the past life. How come this is approaching done? Mars, the planet who deals with blood. House number 7 is marriage. House number 5, pride, ego, love affairs. And number 6, rogue, green, shatru. So when these 4 things comes together, the possibility is that out of ego, out of love, out of establishment, respect, whatever it is, you must have killed someone in your past life. And in this present life, this is obvious, you are going to lose someone very close to you. Very close to you. The same pain you have to face. And in the same combination, you will see, you look into your parental side, you will see definitely there is an abortion with the same combination. And that's the reason in this particular life, your marriage life is going to be spoiled, your emotional life is going to be spoiled. That's the punishment. That's how astrology is designed. Let me show you one chart why this combination is described. This is a very practical chart. Let us focus on the chart. So, look into this chart. It's a chart of the Gemini ascendant, and planet Mars is situated in the 5th house and a sign of 7, and S6, if you look into it, S6 is present in the 5th house. What is S6? Basically, it's Arudhapada. In some other video, I must discuss about Arudhapada. So, consider this A1, A2, A3, A7, S6. All these are basically the bases of the house. For example, A6 is written here. That means the base of the 6th house is present in the 5th house. So, consider them as planet. Whenever you are making predictions, A6 means use the 6th house energy in the 5th house. So, Mangal is present, 6th house is present, 7th house, the sign of 7 is present. Where? In the 5th house. In this chart, the prediction was distinctively clear. Someone he or she must have killed in the past life. And because of that, in this particular birth, someone very close, he or she will lose. So that exactly happened. Or this very close member of this person's life was died all on a sudden, without any clarification. It was just done. And this particular point, the entire life got changed from this particular point. So when I saw the chart, the entire combination was very clear, because this is how it is written. So I had the same question: if the parents had any abortion, and when I talked with the person's parents, that was clarified, yes, they do have an abortion. And you can see what's happening in this particular life. The entire life is now just a piece of living. There's hardly any happiness inside that person. But if you see the other segment of the chart, it's Jupiter Saturn in the 11th house. Must be there must have no problems of finances. Moon is in the 12th house. As I said, if your moon is in 12th house, if your moon is making any connection with the 6th house or the sign of Scorpio, aspect of moon is coming to the 6th house sign of Scorpio, there's high chance your parents would have a miscarriage, and that happened. This will happen, and out of that you must face problems. Sun, Rahu, Mercury in the 2nd house, Ketu in the 8th house, Venus in the 3rd house. Looking into the chart, and you see A5 and the Gemini ascendant, so making this chart an extensively good chart in terms of education, in terms of job, in terms of finances. In every segment you see, this chart is fulfilled with everything one can ask for in the life. But there is no peace of happiness. There's something very wrong happening all over the life. Why? Because of that. That's how past life karma and Kriyamanya karma, in this case, this person past life is impacting badly, and the Kriyamanya karma of this person's parents impacting this chart badly, making this chart a bit karmic and cursed. And eventually, whenever in the future certain things would go on, you will see the same events repetition might be there. Once again, a very close person's death might happen. And why I'm saying this? Ketu in the 8th house, sign of 10. And why sign of 10? Sign of 10 is obviously your work profession, your karma, your gains. Your 10th house is your relatives, basically father's relative, father's side, the parent side relatives, paternal side relatives, precisely speaking. And your 8th house is your in-laws. Ketu sitting there in sign number 10, that is a Saturn Ketu combination. Again, this will break your career at some point, even because of you are very, very deserving, but your career is broken. Ketu Saturn combination. What's happening? Again, the past life. Now you count. Why I'm saying this? 5th house, 6th house, 7th house, 8th house. So if I consider the 5th house as house number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ketu is being placed from the 5th house to its 4th house. And what is 4th house? Your mother. So your mother has done something very wrong, that is eventually killing your career and profession. That's how the past life works. Because when I am talking about this particular person, again, out of being an extensively good student and having an extensively good academic career, still struggling with the career. There is no proper things done yet in the career. Why it's happening? Abortion. Even when your chart is very, very promising, you cannot get to reach into a particular position because certain karma is already done by you in the past and by your parents in the present, and you're suffering out of that. And hardly any remedy works for it. Doesn't matter whatever you do, it hardly works. You have to suffer. Unless and until the debts are completed, you have to suffer. So by this, there are so many combinations and so many different charts can be shown out there, and eventually these particular things can be shown in different angle as well. Now I haven't shown you the dasha and antardasha, the other stuffs. So in the coming section, I will try to show you a proper discussion. You might eventually predict about the timing, that okay, in this particular timing this would happen using the dashantaral and all these things. So Vimshattari Dasha also works in your past life as well. So from the Vimshattari Dasha, Yogini Dasha, you can figure out your past life deeds, and when that particular past life deed will give you result in this particular life. So this is just one example. I will try to keep few more examples on this with a different topic on the same stream of the predicting the pending karma, and we'll understand many other techniques of predicting the pending karma in the coming sessions, along with the timing figuration. Until then, let us know on which topic we should make a new video upon, if you have any suggestion. Till then, take care, keep well,